Policy 1113, Student Standing. NBCC sets academic standards required to achieve certification in each published curriculum standard. Academic standing is based on whether the student is meeting these standards. This policy informs students of requirements to maintain academic standing, the consequences of not meeting these requirements, and the actions required to return to good standing. This policy applies to all NBCC students, courses, and programs. Academic probation occurs when a student's current academic achievement is below the minimum academic requirement of their enrolled program, and the student will not likely successfully complete a course of studies within a planned timeframe, or his or her performance outcomes demonstrate a potential that the student will not be successful. Academic suspension occurs when there is no likelihood that a student will achieve success in his or her program or course of studies. Conduct probation is an order issued to a student containing specific terms and conditions. Conduct suspension is an order prohibiting students from attending academic programs, courses, and any college activities for a defined period of time while the college conducts a full review of the violation. Expulsion is an order which immediately terminates any contractual relationship with the college and terminates all college activities. Good standing is an academic status when a student's current academic achievement is meeting or exceeding the minimum academic requirements of their enrolled program. Normal progression means a student is successfully progressing through a program and will graduate in the number of terms designed for a full-time student. Pass means program to assist student success. Implementation. Notification types of academic standing are good standing, academic probation, academic suspension, conduct probation, conduct suspension, and expulsion. The student will be notified of a change in student standing in writing by the department head or designate. Academic probation and suspension notice of academic probation is the college's official notice informing a student that academic standards have not been met. The department head refers students on academic probation to the appropriate resources and supports that may assist the student in meeting the necessary requirements to return to good standing. If a student's term GPA drops below 1.0, then they are placed on academic probation. This applies to students enrolled in a program. If in the term immediately after being placed on academic probation, the student achieves a term GPA of at least 1.5 and a cumulative GPA of at least 1.0, then they return to good standing. If in the term immediately after being placed on academic probation, the student achieves a term GPA higher than 1.5 and a cumulative GPA below 1.0, or a student on academic probation transfers programs or changes courses, then they remain on academic probation. If none of the above criteria are met, then they are placed on academic suspension. If a student is unsuccessful in all courses within a term, then they will be placed on academic suspension unless extenuating circumstances exist. This applies to students enrolled in a program. Specific details of the academic suspension will be outlined in the letter to the student. If a student completes a period of academic suspension and returns to a program, then they will be placed on academic probation. If a student is on academic suspension, then they cannot enroll in any course or program for a period of up to 12 months. Students cannot apply or transfer into another program during the period of academic suspension. Conduct probation. A student may be placed on conduct probation for violation of the Student Code of Conduct. They are returned to good standing once they have met all the requirements outlined in the assessment decision. Students admitted or transferred to another program while under conduct probation will remain on conduct probation until all the probation conditions have been met. Conduct suspension. A student is placed on conduct suspension for major violations of the Student Code of Conduct policy. During the suspension period, college authorities will conduct a full review of the violations. A student who has committed a serious violation of NBCC's rules and regulations may be expelled. Expulsion. A student is expelled for further or extreme violation of the Student Code of Conduct policy. Expulsion involves a permanent separation of the individual from the institution. The student will not be considered for readmission into NBCC for a minimum period of 12 months. Following this period, an expelled student may apply in writing for readmission and can only be readmitted with the approval of the VP Academic and Research or designate. Readmission. Following suspension or expulsion, a student may be required to apply in writing for readmission and according to the terms set out in the suspension or expulsion letter. Students will be readmitted to a class or program after entering a written agreement requiring compliance with college policy. Failure to abide by this agreement may result in further disciplinary action. Students readmitted while under conduct probation will remain on conduct probation until all the probation conditions have been met. The college may refuse readmission. Appeal students may appeal a decision using the steps outlined in Student Appeal. Responsibilities. The student will be made aware of this policy by the department head or designate during the orientation process. The student's academic standing is determined by the department head at the end of each term, inclusive of supplementation measures. The student will be notified that they are at risk of failure by the instructor as soon as the risk becomes apparent. The student will be informed of the available supports to help improve performance, including referral to the student development team through the Program to Assist Student Success PASS by the instructor as soon as they are determined to be at risk of failure. The Office of the Registrar will be notified of a change in student status by the department head as soon as it occurs. For more information about NBCC's policies, visit nbcc.ca, current students, policies, or speak with your department head.